Good morning. It is wet. It had been raining for several days. The sun is out a little bit, and then comes a cloud and more rain, and it's supposed to also rain quite a bit more this afternoon and over the following days. So this is very positive. Unfortunately, we don't have enough holes in the ground, ponds, to store all this water, but I hope that the soil will soak up most of it. But I think that's not the case, so we need to dig more, and I hope we can do this later this summer. But I can show you a bit how this looks like here right in front of the hen house. And there's also Mr. Cat. Let me close this. Over there, it's all soaking wet. The pond here in the future dog enclosure is also filled to the brim. And I hope I can show you a little bit more, because I have an idea to go out and explore something. Let's see how that goes. And the weather is behaving just the way it should for this time of year, so that's all positive. You will probably not be able to see them, but I spotted them, the two ducks. They are there, but they are too far away for this camera. I can only see their heads. They are walking along the creek, and I'm going now there to show you how full this creek is. It is also a bit chilly, and the wind is blowing. Oh, you see, this is completely overflown, and there to the other side, same thing. And you might have spotted that this continues to flow because the catchment area is still losing water. There are no water retention features, and we get all this water. So we definitely need to make this pond a lot bigger, and I hope we can pull this off at the end of summer, when the pond will be low or empty. And I keep filming so that I can see a little bit how this land looks like. There are no grazing animals at the moment. There would be 4 horses grazing here, but because someone killed 3 of them, there is nothing that happens here. My plan is, shortly before the summer ends, to mow this, to contract someone who comes here and mows it. So here is the depression, the little pond-like thing in that Miyawaki forest. See what I have in front. So everything where water can accumulate, it does. The Miyawaki forest is now getting more and more grasses. I'm pretty sure I will now show you how the other creek, which is the outflow of the water reservoir, is also completely full, and passing is either a very big challenge. You have to know exactly where the path is and where there are some boulders where you cannot pass. So with the Jeep, technically it should be possible, but I'm not so eager to try it. And I think I will pick up Angel here, who will cross the bridge on foot. And what I want to do is I want to explore the other route, because the bridge is part of a public way public road, and we want to see how the easement that leads to it looks like, so that maybe then Angel can use it. Well, it's not so bad. It is full, but it is not completely. Yeah, so that phone call, that was Angel. So doesn't look that bad. So let's have a look. So I opened our gate, and as you can see, this thing is filled, and more is coming in from here to the left. That is the neighbor. There it is leaking. And it is not so bad yet, but as it continues to rain, and I also hear a sound from over there, so I would think that the sound is the water from the water reservoir as it goes out there. So that reservoir is certainly overflowing, and that is what we see. So as long as it looks like this, the car Angel is using, it's a Toyota RAV4, that should pass because it has 20 centimeters ground clearance. And you can clearly see where the pass is, so like that. So that shouldn't be a problem. We were worried, but in the upcoming days that might change. But so far, the pass is clearly visible, and given you have enough ground clearance, it should be possible. So the Jeep, I wouldn't think about this at all, because I know it can do it. But I think the Toyota can also. But I think, given that Angel has to drive home to Pozo Blanco later, maybe he goes on foot over the bridge there, and then it's the safer bet. In theory, one can also drive there, but there's a little bit a steep thing. But it's possible. Of course, one would lean quite a bit to the right. But this is not an impossible thing for a 4x4 vehicle. saw enough and didn't open this gate because we don't want to run into that neighbor. But we do have a right to go through here because this is the public road. Now on the way back, let me show you our zone C and also explore together with you how this looks like and where we could potentially create another pond. I think it's not for irrigation, but for a different purpose, just to help the land. And I also want to see where we can store the material that we will dig out when we enlarge the existing pond and maybe do another one. Because somewhere we need to put all these cubic meters of dirt. I want to go up there and check a location for a potential building site for a pond. So maybe there ahead it looks like a funnel, and maybe there we can do something. It is wet here where we are walking, as you can see it. There, you see it. Of course, right now, when it rains, this will flow away. But the idea is to use the fill or the material that we dig out from another side and bring it here and dam this up a little bit, so that here we create an additional water retention feature. If it's a pond useful for irrigation, that needs to be seen, but at least some water will accumulate here and should then also help this area that I'm showing you. So this is all wet. And yeah, you can actually see here on the other side that water is flowing. And that is also why these things there exist. So it is flowing here. And that is the funnel basically. Comes from there. And you can see it is full of stones there. So we can certainly do something to reshape this land and create something nice. And also we can use the material up there to terrace this a little bit. And later we might set olive trees or something like that there. So that's an option. Because we need to find a place where we can put a material that we dig out when we make a pond. This might be it.